You heard the last panel, on-chain, off-chain. I mean, as a trader, as a fund, as an investor, you're just looking for opportunity.
Right.
And you just want to be able to deploy your capital. And so look, again, I go back to what you're saying, and then we look at the digital-only or crypto-only protagonists, and you have to say to them, look, you can do so much better if...
But they don't want to do that much better. That's why,
You think?
Well, the market has evolved in the way that it has, no? In terms of crypto native, you're talking about the exchanges that are all everything all in one.
I think look, the reality is, if you look at crypto today, it's mispriced. It's very expensive to trade. I'm sorry if you're out there and you're sitting in crypto land, but we're still talking about basis points. So I'm from the foreign exchange business, just in case anyone wasn't aware, right? So my core business, our bread and butter, is foreign exchange. I get paid by a bank roughly between a 20th and a 40th of a basis point to process $1 million. Okay, that's price compression. This is market efficiency. When I first started in the markets, you can probably tell how long ago it was, right? We used to pay basis points to buy equities. Basis points, hundreds of dollars per million. Crypto's still talking that. Mm-hmm. But right now, I can buy you any equity in the world for free. It's never free, okay, there's spread. But you know what I mean? Commission is 0. So this is what's going to happen. All of that to say, what's going to happen in crypto or digital assets is the same as what's happened in TradFi. There's going to be spread compression, price compression. It's going to be much better for all of the users. So how do you compensate for that, Niku? You're going to need your volumes to go up, right? You're going to need a lot more assets under management. So for that to happen, they must want this evolution to happen. Because you know what? $400 trillion of real-world assets and securities, $400 trillion, everyone, compared to $2.5 trillion in crypto. That isn't coming to the market structure that's crypto today, okay? So if you really want that 2.5 to go to gold, let's imagine it's just the size of the gold desk. If you're sitting in a bank floor, it's probably like that 10% of this floor right now. That's commodities, that's gold. If you want crypto to be that, right, you're going to need to welcome a market structure which those institutions understand.
And part of that, I mean, we've talked about this earlier, is credit in the system.
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk me through how you see, I guess, the crypto credit landscape? What more needs to evolve there?
There isn't any.
Yeah.
No, look, it's very inefficient today. This is why the crypto market cap has stayed as low as it is. So there are some crypto native lenders out there. There are some crypto native credit intermediaries, but they're just that. Mm-hmm. So, talking to banks recently, we have 40, the top 40 banks trade with us on LMAX exchange on a day-to-day basis. And they start to talk to us about how they can access digital asset markets, how they can settle. At the moment, if you look at crypto, it's basically DVP, right? It's bilateral settlement. You have a lot of Hostat risk, which people don't like. And you say, well, you can use this intermediary. Okay, never heard of them. What's the balance sheet? And you say, oh, it's a couple of $2 billion. They almost laugh at you. Right? Because they're used to dealing with balance sheets in tens of billions and leveraging that. That gives them the security. That gives them the confidence. So it's not the fact that somebody will lend it to you, by the way, again, at a very expensive price. It's how sure am I that that lender, that prime broker, will still be there tomorrow. And whilst LMAX might think, or XYZ crypto broker might think that balance sheet is good and hefty, it doesn't work in the institutional space. Yeah. Go to the asset managers in the world. Right? I remember when I was sort of young, naive sales guy. That was about last year, by the way. Joke. You'd go and talk to the biggest asset managers in the world and say, trade with us. I can solve all your trading, your execution issues. They go, great, David.